and names, packed up our lives and began once again. We serve in the shadows, we carry the weight with stories that matter, don't let them wait. Every story matters, from bases to war zones, from tearful reunions to cold nights alone. Spouses and veterans, hearts that won't quit, telling the truth about all of it.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. It's just another day in the life as a military wife, and I am super excited for our next guest. He is named Raymond. He's going to introduce himself in a bit, but he's a veteran and he's a fellow YouTuber, and I've met him through Dadman. So thank you, Dadman, for hooking me up with more veterans. Without further ado, here's the man of the hour. Hey, Raymond.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Why don't you tell us about yourself just to get started?
Okay, I am Raymond Feliciano, and I was a veteran of the Air Force, and I currently am an author, published author, and I also have a YouTube channel, as Sam said. It's called King Dolphin TV. And I interview people who do interesting things. I myself have hit the veterans interviewing over the past 4 years, especially around Veterans Day. And I'm also trying to do some other things as well with veterans. And I'm sure I'll be collaborating with Sam on a lot of these ideas I have. So it's a pleasure to meet you all. And I look forward to having this conversation.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. When I got introduced to you through Dadman, I've done veterans panels before, and I've started trying to help make connections between other veterans channels that I'm aware of. And so I was really excited because I'm like, yay, another veteran channel on YouTube. Someone who understands the content creator crazy. Because I think sometimes with some of the veterans I try to interview, it's like I'm trying to teach them how to do all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh, yay, you already know the microphone. You already know the video thing. Like, I don't have to teach you that. So that's one less step for me.
Well, you've been on King Dolphin TV, so you know things are not normal there.
Well, you guys are really funny and have a good sense of humor, so I like that. Honestly, when I got on, I'm like, I'm not sure what I got myself into. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to play it however.
Well, anybody with a logo of Boom on it is going to be welcome on the channel.
So that logo was designed by my niece. She's a graphic designer. She's really struggling now. She started her own business years ago. And so I went to her when I was getting started to design my logo. Now with AI and everything, it's really hurting her business. But I'm going to always go to her because I love my niece and I want to support her and her art. But yeah, good. She did all of that. So I'm so grateful for her. You were in the United States Air Force.
Yes.
When did you join and why?
Okay. I joined in 1978. A little bit of the backstory. I actually was trying to go into the Air Force Academy, but between my scores and some other things that were coming up, namely the other sex, it kind of fell through. But I didn't want to stay. I didn't want to be, have my parents pay for college. And so I just one day walked into a recruiter's office and signed up on that day.
Cool. So where are you from originally?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I have family in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I've got tons of family from Cleveland, Ohio. That's where one part of my whole family is. So
nice.
I've been once. Maybe twice, once. I don't know. I've not been there a lot, but I do have family over there. So you're from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm guessing from your last name, you're Italian?
No.
Dang it. That last name sounds Italian.
I got that a lot in my, I got that a lot. Even still. No, I'm Puerto Rican.
Really? Because Raymond Feliciano, that sounds so Italian.
I know. And especially when I was in Italy, people were thinking I already knew Italian.
They're just speaking to it. Yeah, that would do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you joined in 79. You went to a recruiter. 78. Sorry, 78. Got to make sure I'm getting my information right. Joined in 78. You go to the recruiter. You walk in. Did you want to do the Air Force to begin with? Was that all like your goal?
Yes.
What drew you to the Air Force?
Now this is urban myths. Urban myths. This is mother trying to make me feel special, but she said my very first word was astronaut. So I've always been interested in space. I've always been interested in flying. So it made the Air Force a nice fit. Of course, they don't tell you that most of the test pilots and astronauts are Navy.
Yes, actually, they are.
I joined the Air Force because I thought it would be a cool way of getting flying.
I too was one of those kids that wanted to be an astronaut, and I originally thought I wanted to join the Air Force, and I said something to my uncle who was a Navy chief, and he's like, you do realize you should join the Navy then? And I'm like, oh. So then I wanted to be in the Blue Angels, and then life happened, and then I married an Army guy, so
Uh-oh.
I know, right? I came from a Navy Air Force family, and I married a guy who joined the Army, so it's all sorts of fun. But so you joined the Air Force. What when you got in, what job did you end up with?
I started out in telecommunications.
Okay.
I said I wanted to do something with computers because I had just gone in my senior year of high school. I did a lot with computers and stuff like this. So I decided to go to, into a computer job. The recruiter said telecommunication. So that's the job I went into. So
where did you do your basic training and your advanced training?
I went to Lackland Air Force Base in August of 78.
Wow.
And
that would be hot.
Yeah, it was. Very hot. And we, the movie Stripes.
Actually, I have not seen that one.
Oh, man.
On my list.
Well, we were our flight was always the one on restriction. For whatever reason, we were always on restrictions, so we didn't go anywhere. I did see a Spurs game. I went with a group of basic trainees. But that was it. When we had freedom, I decided I don't want to see San Antonio. I just walked around the base.
Yeah.
And but that was that was basic training. I was in a job where I didn't need. I went direct duty, which means you don't go to a tech school. You go to
you get on the job training.
You get on the job training. So my first duty assignment was Duluth, Minnesota, and yes,
wow, that's quite the shift.
I called it San Francisco with snow.
Yeah.
It's up on a hill. The downtown is a hillside, and you could do it normally, but wait till that first snow dump happens, and you're stuck on top of the hill.
Wow.
So
that's quite the change. But you're from Ohio.
I'm from Cleveland, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, you wasn't too big of a.
No, not a big change. Just the fact that you had to. If you wanted to go downtown, you had to be very careful.
Yeah. So. Well, and then you're driving with a whole bunch of military people from all over. So just because you know how to handle the roads doesn't mean they know how to handle the roads.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've had a couple of instances where I had no idea of black ice until I got to Minnesota, and it's just like we didn't have that in Cleveland. Of course,
black ice is Vicious. That I think is
Yes.
more dangerous than the snow. That's my
Hmm.
opinion.
Yep. I've
So
done. Go
when
ahead.
you were in Minnesota, how old? So you're like 19 or so?
I
18?
I I actually was signed for,
Oh, okay.
so I didn't turn 18 till
Oh,
I.
you were a bubby.
Mhm.
Oh, you're
I didn't. I turned 18 in Duluth.
you were a schoolboy. Okay.
Yeah, I turned 18 in Duluth.
Okay.
So I went there, and the thing was, what they didn't tell me is I wasn't going to be doing my job till I got my clearance,
Mhm.
and because I couldn't get my until as I'm waiting for my clearance, I had to be a switchboard operator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I worked the base switchboard. It was interesting. I got to see a lot of or talk to a lot of interesting people, do a lot of interesting things, but it was not the job I signed for.
You
And
know, I see
meantime,
that a lot.
I had to still do my studying, and
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, I'm studying, but I'm not operating the equipment. What is this? So I did eventually get my clearance. Actually, worked in the communication center, and it was interesting. I was always on the night shift, swing or night shift, and then so I actually had time to go to college once I got my skill levels. But
Mhm.
then they said, you can't do that because we need you on this shift. And I said, okay, fine. So
Yeah, and back then they didn't have it because my husband, he's been on swing shift and night shifts before, and that's actually been really great for him doing college because he can it we have remote colleges now where he can do online stuff and things, and you didn't have that, so
no, I did
that
not.
was that had to been so hard.
But I did meet my ex-wife going to college, and then so
You met her in
we
Minnesota?
I met her in Minnesota,
Okay. Was
and
she
then
from there?
yeah, she was from there.
Okay.
Yeah,
And what were you studying in college? Was it the same sort of things you were doing in the Air Force or something completely different?
I didn't know what I was studying. To be true, I didn't have any good direction when I went there and was taking colleges. So my courses were all over the place. I took things like architectural drawing, some psychology. I
Basically trying to find yourself.
Yeah, that was it. Trying to find one.
Honestly, that's one of the things that I want to point out to young people is like if you don't know what direction you want to take in your life, but you want to get out, get some experiences and stuff like that, joining the military can be really great because you have the opportunity to get an income, get a job, get out on your own,
Hmm.
and be able to take care of yourself medically, financially, and then explore what you want to do. Because my husband, when he got into the military, he was in college when we first got married, and then he joined the military when we had our first kid because we needed the money and the healthcare. Um, but anyway, what he was studying then isn't what he's studying now. He changed because he had the freedom all of a sudden. He didn't have the pressure that he had to get a degree so he could provide for his family. He could provide for his family and then explore what he wanted. And so he's changed his degree a couple times. And I think that's awesome that you did that, that you just kind of figured it out.
Hmm.
Um, how long were you in Minnesota?
I was there until 80.
Okay.
We had just I I proposed to my ex, and there was a lot of people who were giving me stink eyes because I'm barely 18 and getting ready to get married. That happened a lot in the military, but I was getting a lot of stink eyes, and then my boss says, "You may want to think about this." I said, "Why?" He said, "You got orders to Italy." I said,
Oh,
"Oh, okay." So that kind of sped things up a bit. We accelerated our wedding. We got married on base. Uh, to the chagrin of my parents, they didn't want me married right away.
yeah.
And next thing you know, in March, I am heading to Italy.
Now,
March of
where in
80.
Italy, where were you stationed?
I was on a small site that's a small communication site that on an Italian Air Force base.
Oh, okay. So are you not wanting to say where exactly or?
No, not really.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm Italian, so I think I'm super jealous. When my husband joined the military, I'm like, okay, I want Italy. We've never gotten to Italy ever. So
No, yeah.
what was your favorite part about being in Italy?
The countryside, the the mountains, the beautiful area. We've gone to Rome, we've gone to Venice, but the drawbacks to where I was at is the most we had was a little bitty half a set. Well, I call it a 4.5 dash 3.5, not quite a 7-Eleven. So it was
okay.
a very small BX, all mess club, all ranks club, and we actually had to go to for any big things. We were too far from Aviano. We had to actually go to Vicenza.
Okay.
For medical and commissary support.
That makes sense. So you guys had to really rely a lot on the local economy. Did you pick up any Italian while you were there?
Somewhat.
Enough to get by.
My ex was better at picking up languages for me. I kind of have to process a little bit, and it made it a little slow.
Yeah.
I did not, to my chagrin, I did not learn Spanish from my parents.
Oh, that's a bummer.
And then I tried high school Spanish, and that's garbage.
So my family's Italian, but my mom never bothered to learn it because she figured, I live in an Italian community, I'll always be able to learn it, and then my kids can learn it. And then we moved away, and I wasn't raised in an Italian community, so I don't know Italian. My family's actually Sicilian, which is Sicilian is like the Puerto Rican of Spanish. Like it's
exactly.
And so I don't know it, and so I'm trying to learn it now. But then I grew up in Arizona, so I know Spanish. I've learned Spanish, and so now I'm trying to learn Italian, and it's confusing me because there's so many things that are like the same but not quite, or they're said the same but spelled different. It's been confusing, but but that had to have been amazing to have that opportunity to be in Europe. Did you guys get to go travel to any other countries while you were there?
We actually only went to Germany to pick up our car. But the trip was fascinating. We went through Switzerland. So we went through Switzerland to get to Germany because we were in northern Italy. So it was just go Switzerland, go under the mountains, and then go to the car, and then drive back with a car and try and navigate those mountains. And it was fun. Yeah, but that was really about it. We just stayed in Italy, but there was so much in Italy that you could see.
Oh, I bet. I want to go, and we've been talking about going and working on a trip, and there's just so much. People just live there so long. There's so much to see.
Yeah.
So what can you say about what you worked on?
I worked in a communication center. So I did work in a communication center and handling old style crypto stuff. It wasn't computerized encryption where the computer did it itself. No, we had to use World War II vintage devices that more likely than not broke.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I worked the optimum schedule was a 3 on, 4 off. I mean, we were single person shifts. So I would work 3 nights and then 4 off. That's with proper staffing. We were never staffed properly.
Mm-hmm.
So I would work. I'd work some combinations of 2 days on, 2 nights on, 2 days off, and it was. Or there were instances where I'd worked 8 days straight or 8 nights straight. It was a brutal schedule, and that was starting to grate on me. But I'm saying, look, you've got a wife. You can't just suddenly up and say the heck with this. And so near the end of my tour, I do got to say, I love the community. We were small, but we were fun loving. We had lots of cool things going on, but the job itself was starting to
get hard.
Yeah, so I actually started looking to retrain. So and applied for a job just before my DROS, which was in March of '83.
Okay. So did you end up reclassifying into a new job?
Yes, I did. I became intelligence. Another one I can't really say.
That's okay. We can do generalities.
Yes. So I went there, and then my base was in. I ended up in K.I. Sawyer, Michigan, another cold place.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed there about 2 months before they actually sent me to tech school at Lowry Air Force Base, Colorado. I'm sure you know where that was.
Oh, yep. That's my side of the country. I'm definitely a Four Corners girl. So, yep.
I love Lowry. That was, I did really well in tech school, and then came back, and we only stayed there a year. We only stayed there a year total between me getting there, then my tech school, and then what I did afterwards. It was a SAC base. So, it was fun. The cold didn't necessarily appeal to me. I mean, it was
that's
a lot of snow,
cold, really
a lot of snow, a lot of trees. We didn't go much, but we lived on base, which was a good thing. And there was enough on base to keep us entertained.
That's good. Did you and your ex-wife have any kids?
No, we did not have kids.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, so you were there only for a year. You get your reclassing done. You did your training in Colorado. At this point, it's the 80s. Like, there's some interesting stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk about any of that?
Some of that. I got, like I said, my tour was only about a year, and then I got orders to Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Spangdahlem Air Base.
Okay.
In the western part, it's near the Benelux, near Luxembourg, Bitburg, the Netherlands. So it's on the western part of West Germany.
Okay.
So we were going through. I get there, and beautiful country. I fell in love with it immediately. Our hotel was a part of a wildlife center, but it was just absolutely amazing. The food was fantastic. I had a great landlord. I had to live on the economy.
Yeah, a lot of people do in Germany.
And then we were on base. We were going through a reorganization where the mission became the wild, what is known as the wild weasel, which is suppression of enemy air defenses.
Okay.
So I was one of the I was at one of the three fighter squadrons that we had on the base, the 480th, and I was the intel support person.
Okay.
So our big thing was just if the Russians, well, if the Soviets decided to cross the German border, then
you were the response.
Yeah, we were the response, and we were far enough back where we'd be able to.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did a lot of we looked at all the enemy air defenses, and we were able to help the pilots and the air crews work on going over there and suppress. They had the when we were there, when we first started there in '84, they had the F4E and the F4G Wild Weasel. They combined the two.
Okay.
And so we set up packages for them to do that.
Okay.
And then that was from '84 to '88, and a lot of interesting things.
Yeah,
as you said, and I missed it all.
You missed it. Well, you didn't miss it all. Did you? Because I know in '86 the 101st had that crash where they lost everyone.
Yeah.
They'd been in Germany, right?
I wouldn't know. I didn't know much about where the Army would go to. And
Okay.
I didn't know about the 101st.
Because my husband was originally in the 101st because he's Army Aviation.
Okay.
And I just remember because it happened the year we were born, and I remember going through the museum and seeing that, and it just really was interesting. How did you feel? Like, did it feel like as in like during the Cold War, during the Mr. Gorbachev tear down this wall and all of that craziness going on? You're hearing these news reports, you know what's going on. There's blockades, there's all of these like, scares and like Iran Contra, all these things, all of the stuff that happened. Like, how did that feel as a service member in Europe in the middle and just knowing if all heck breaks loose, you're in the middle of it?
I think the first thing, we practiced all the time. We exercise. I mean, we exercise once a month on what we needed to do. My thought was the X was going to fly back to the United States. I was going to hunker around in a bunker. I was going to plan missions and let the chips go where they may. I do know our forces were ready.
Yeah.
We're ready to hold back the evil empire.
So how did you feel when you heard the whole Mr. Gorbachev tear down this wall thing?
It was I didn't really think much about it. I didn't think, I concentrated on doing my job. And if you've ever been in Germany, the news on AFN is not the greatest, most timely ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing like what we've got now.
Yeah. Well, and then, but back then you were in Germany when it was divided, when it still was West Germany and East Germany.
Exactly.
And so what was that like, seeing that separation, the German people, like them dealing with that? Like,
there is a funny story we have.
Oh, please. I love funny stories. Let's do it.
We went on a deployment to a German Air Force base called Fossberg.
Mm-hmm.
And its job would have been to gather all sorts of air in case the Soviets blockaded Berlin. We were primarily involved with a Berlin mission.
Okay.
And so in case the Soviets blockaded the land route to Berlin, we would provide air support for for whatever army assets would go through that route to show, we're still here. We're not going anywhere. We're getting to Berlin. So the reality is it's a 1 week drinking contest. And it was my Air Force unit, the RAF, the French and the Germans all together. They fly in the morning, party at night, and oh my God, they partied. So, so that was the thing. But during that deployment, we went on a tour of Hamburg, and we also did a side trips. We went to the IGB, which is the inter-German border, and we were with pilots and stuff like this. We decided to repeat Patton's feat when he crossed the Rhine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we took okay, I can say it. We peed on the border.
So you actually got to see the border between East Germany and West Germany.
Exactly.
And did you get to, were there Soviet soldiers there? Did no interaction? You just saw it?
We saw it. We did our business and moved on.
Okay.
We went to Hamburg. Then we also went to Bergen-Belsen. Now that is powerful. Seeing the mass graves and what made
the concentration camp. Yeah.
Yep. And to see, besides seeing the mass graves, there was a German artillery range right there, and you could hear the explosions in the background, and it just added to the surrealness.
That is crazy. Well, and just because I've read about this point in history. You lived this point in history, and it's just so cool to be able to. And you weren't that far removed from World War II. It was 2-3 decades. So 3-4 decades, but still, that's not that far. Now it's a lot further removed. But just to be there to see that, were you okay? I'm sorry, I don't have my notes in front of me. Were you there when the wall came down, when things started to come undone? Were you there?
No, I left in 1988.
In 88.
I had orders to Blytheville, Arkansas.
Okay.
Or Acre Air Force Base, Arkansas.
But you were part of the whole Allied support of West Germany.
Oh yeah. So and we did have some. There was the one operation that I actually missed. We were deployed in Spain for weapons training deployment. I got a phone call from the Red Cross that my grandmother passed.
Okay.
And rather than being kind enough to give me a few days to get there, they were going to bury her the next day.
Oh.
So that took the Red Cross. Well, one, grandparents don't count.
Yeah, it's discretion at that point.
It's a space aid. So in this case, I just dug up some money, got on a airline from, I think it was Madrid to go home. So I came home, and right after I came home and was getting settled in, El Dorado Canyon happened, which was the strikes on Libya.
Oh, really?
So I was at home.
Okay, so the strikes on Libya, the Rio I was talking about before, he was part of that.
Oh, okay.
Wow. That's so cool. It's really fun when I start meeting or talking to veterans and your stories start lining up.
Yeah. Well, the thing was I was in Cleveland. It didn't happen. Yeah. My unit could have been deployed, but it was a case of, I think Spain shut their airspace down to U.S. Air Force assets. So my unit was unable to do anything. But since the airplanes don't have the legs, I think they decided our unit, well, one, we're stranded in Spain, and two, it was a case of the F-111s had better legs. but they could have used wild weasel support. But I think the Navy gave them that.
Okay. So, well, I guess you can't be there for everything, but still, it's interesting. When you talk to the people in West Germany at the time, like what were their feelings about it all? Like they'd been dealing with the separation of their country for a while. Did they feel like it was ever going to change, or did they feel
I
like
think
it?
they did, but they were definitely. We were still there early enough where they loved us.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to learn how to speak English. They didn't want to speak German to us. They wanted to speak English. And the good thing is, where we were at, we were away from all the big military facilities where you had things like the Glickums, the ground launch cruise missile protests.
Yeah.
We were away from all that, and we had a good. It was a rural community,
Yeah.
so it was. We had a lot of good relationships.
Well, and I think it was I think it was probably different at that point because they still saw the benefit of having you there because there was still an imminent threat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So after you left Germany, you went back to the States. Where did you say you were sent?
I was at a SAC base on Acre Air Force Base, Arkansas. It's right next to the Mississippi.
Oh, wow.
And there I realized, based on some of the shenanigans that were happening on the base and protocols and stuff like that, I decided it was probably time for me to leave active duty. But I didn't want to leave totally. But so someone I knew in Germany, an Air National Guard base came deployed to Germany, and and they were from Ohio. So I talked to them, and they said, check out our recruiters. We may be able to get you in. So it came in 1990 in July, where I was able to get a slot at the Ohio Air National Guard base in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
Now, a 2.5-hour drive from where I was. We moved back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
We moved back to Cleveland, and we went to and I commuted long hours to the guard base for my drill time. And then my first drill at Columbus was the weekend after Saddam went in.
Oh, wow.
So it's like my boss is already in desert camouflage, and they're starting to we're building maps on what's going on, the order of battle and stuff like that. And at this time, our unit was flying A7s, which were already starting to show their age. So everybody is hanging, moving ahead in the straps, all ready to go, wanting to go, but they're like taking like security forces people, they're taking medical people, but our unit is just still sitting there. And I guess they were trying, but I was actually on deployment, and of course my parents were scared. My mother was scared stiff. My ex was probably going to say, you go. I thought about volunteering something to go, because I actually kept in touch with my friends in Arkansas, and most of them were going over to the sandbox. I knew people in Germany were going over to the sandbox, and here I am sitting it out, and I'm like, oh man, I should have stayed in Germany, but yeah. So in February of 91, um, we were on a deployment in Tucson, Arizona,
Okay.
when Desert Storm happened. So, and there we're sitting in um, there we're sitting in Arizona doing training, doing some search and support of some search and rescue exercises, and people are saying, like one pilot, he said, "My wife's over there, and here I am here. That's not fair."
Hmm.
And it's like, yeah. So
Wow, that had to be hard.
we sat it out for a couple of reasons. One, the logistic tail for Air Force, for Air Guard A7s is a lot longer than A7s on a carrier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was the thing. And secondly, we were working on converting to F-16s anyway.
Yeah.
So no, we weren't. We were working on converting to tankers.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
So,
That gets complicated when things get switched over like that.
mhm.
And I'm familiar with the base in Tucson.
Yeah.
They call that the Boneyard now.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the old
Airplanes as well. Yeah, we actually took a tour of it.
of the Boneyard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
but
them.
some of my husband's old helicopters are in the Boneyard now.
Yeah.
But so did you ever get deployed? You said you never did get over there to Desert Storm. So that was really common, because you're not the only person in the Air Guard who told me that basically the Air Guard just got left out. Army Guard got used, but Air Guard didn't.
Well, at the time, if the Air Guard didn't have the F-16, or tankers or transport, you weren't going anywhere.
Yeah. Is that still the thing, that Air Guard just doesn't get used as much?
I think it was a brand new world after 9/11.
I bet.
Actually, no, it was actually, my job was going away once the tankers came. So I had to find a new job. So I couldn't get into Intel because of the National Guard Old Boys Network. So I went into my third job, which was maintenance training, which was like tracking all the training that the maintenance personnel had to go through.
Yeah.
And any additional duties as needed.
Yeah.
The translation.
You're the schools guy.
Yeah. Translation, if they had an augmentee thing, I had to be on it.
Yeah.
Which was fun. There were some fun jobs. I built tanks for drop tanks for F-16s, which was fun. I did shelter monitor, not so fun. And later on, I was a security forces augmentee.
Okay.
So
were you still in when September 11th happened?
No, I actually got out I actually put in for retirement in 1998.
In 98?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So I became a full-blown civilian at that time, and bobbled through some various jobs and stuff like that. And at that time got divorced.
Okay.
So, no, I did not go to, I actually, after 9/11, I called the recruiter and said, "Hey, can you bring me back?" They're saying, "We're only bringing back this field, this field, this field, and this field." I said, "Gee, thanks."
You're old, you're not qualified.
Yeah. I think I was still kind of old enough to do something, but
I know.
Unfortunately, war is for the young.
Yeah, it is largely. Plus, they were getting so many volunteers. They weren't starving for people.
No.
If they'd been not able to meet their numbers, they probably would have looked at more of that. But how did you feel with all of that? Like you had done all of this stuff, but you would never. Like, that has to have been a really interesting, let me see how I want to phrase this. It had to have been really interesting to go through the whole Cold War, to be there, to be ready, but never go. You're never sent. And then when everything finally goes to heck in a handbasket, you're not, you're like, you're out of the game. Like,
But I think deep down I said, hey, I might have done a little bitty part to help that wall fall apart. And
oh,
I can
heck
be
yeah.
proud of that. I can be proud
No.
of that.
Well, that's the thing. So many times, and I've talked to a lot of Cold War veterans, they feel like, oh, I was Cold War. I didn't do anything because it didn't go hot for them. I'm like, excuse me. Part of the reason why things didn't go hot more is because of you. We
Yeah.
had amazing veterans. We were ready to go. You guys were working. You were on the ball. You were paying attention. You were doing these things. And that was a deterrent from things going hot.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful for all of our amazing Cold War veterans who didn't have to see any craziness, but were ready to do it if they had to.
Exactly. And it was one thing we went through an orientation about. The Russians are saying, we're decadent with stuff, but we kept them on their side of the wall.
Yep. Good.
Yeah. And so I could be, I definitely feel proud about that. I had arguments with an ex-girlfriend that she says, oh, you're not a vet. You didn't go combat. I said, look, I did 20 years. I did my time. I sweated. I waited for these guys to come over. Don't you tell me I'm not a vet.
No, you're just as important as anyone who saw. See, that's the thing. I talk to a lot of veterans, and I'm so glad you recognize that. But a lot think, oh, I never saw combat, so I don't count or whatever. My husband's grandfather was in World War II, but he got out of the training as the war ended. And so literally all he did was peacekeeping stuff until and so he never felt like he contributed. I'm like, you don't think cleaning up after the fact and helping refugees and dealing with after fact of the war mattered? No, that cleaning up after a war is just as hard as fighting a war. It's a different type of hard, though.
Exactly.
And maybe you're not getting shot at, but you're dealing with like rebuilding people's lives and rebuilding countries and economy. Like, that's a whole new problem. So that's so important. I'm glad you recognize that for you. And I hope every veteran recognizes that their story matters. What they contributed matters, even if it feels small to them. Now, you were telling me before, you're now writing a book. It's coming out. Tell me about this book. I want to know all about it.
Okay. First, I may have given you different information. I actually have 3 books done.
Oh, okay. Well, tell us about your books.
Yes, it is called the Dolphin Wars trilogy. It is a science fiction, and it's the story. And the first one I started writing with my characters right after while I was in Duluth. My ex-mother-in-law had a typewriter. I just started clacking on a typewriter, trying to get some ideas. That story lasted 78, 88, 99. Let's see. It got published in 2020. So you're talking about 30 years that book had been going. It was an evolution. I took a lot of what I learned in the military. I took a lot of my personal experiences because I'm also I'm a commercial pilot. And so I took all of that and put that into a science fiction story. It's the story. It is a military theme. It has a family that had been involved in 2 wars between Earth and Mars.
Okay.
And how they dealt with it. Not without spoiling a lot. There is a lot of espionage, betrayal, revenge in this plot, and there are contacts with an alien species.
Okay.
So that's the first one. The second one goes more into the fantasy realm. I took that same family and took them 20 years later. They've prospered. The family grew, but then there is another threat that threatens not only humanity but another alien species.
Okay.
So the family has to go and try and find a way to stop this war. And then finally, in the final book of the trilogy, the family they've had loss, they're dealing with loss, and there are also more of the same. You've got betrayal, you've got an overarching part of revenge and possibly genocide. So it brings everything together. I call it a renewal arc because it kind of shows in one character, it shows from no moral compass to renewal. And that last one came out in 2023. And currently I'm trying to get another one out. I'm just trying to get ideas for it. So I don't want to say I'm writing a fourth book yet, but it's called the Dolphin Wars trilogy. The 3 volumes are All's Fair. That's the first one. And then the second one was Peacemaker. And the third one is Bloodfeud. And you can find those on Amazon or
at tell my husband. That's totally up his alley.
You can also go to the dolphinwars.com and email me there, and you can get a signed copy that way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's what I am working on right now. And then that led to King Dolphin TV.
Okay. And so that's what then led into the whole YouTube space, is that doing that. Okay.
Yes.
So are you still flying?
I'm trying. I will say that. I had a heart attack in 2014. I recovered nicely from that, but it's been just so. Flying is not cheap.
No, it's not. It's a very expensive
Flying
hobby.
is not cheap. I'm my now wife Sandra. She's a flight instructor, but we both came to the conclusion you can't be married and give flight instruction. I am a hardhead. I freely admit it. And when it's like the two of us, whenever she tries to give me a lesson, it's like I don't want to listen because I'm a hardhead.
Yeah. But, it's hard. I love working with my husband on projects, but there are times where I have to be like, okay, you're the boss. Now I'm the boss. Like you have to. Yeah, that can be complicated. There are people who work really great with their spouses and have family businesses, and more power to them. That's not for every couple. So how did you meet your current wife?
We met in 2006. I was in Civil Air Patrol, great organization. Anybody, you should join it if you've got one near you. If you got kids.
I had friends in Civil Air Patrol in high school.
Okay. It's a great organization. Fantastic. So I was the squadron commander of the downtown Cleveland Civil Air Patrol Squadron.
Okay.
And we had a recruiting booth at the air show, the Cleveland Lakefront Air Show. And she had her name there. I called her as a courtesy to the commander, and asked her to come to a meeting, and she did. And one thing led to another, and we were soon dating.
Oh,
okay. And we got married in 2010 in Maryland.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I know it's a long time ago, but still. Um, okay, so one last thing, because I'm gonna cut parts of this out to use later. I'm for a Christmas episode I'm gonna be working on for later in the way end of the year. Do you have any fun or interesting or memorable Christmas experiences that you had, maybe in Germany or Italy, or something like you that you really enjoyed? How you celebrated Christmas differently in the military in one of the places or while you were in the military?
One that I actually enjoyed is my wife and I, my ex and I in Germany. We knew that the new people, single enlisted, they needed a place to go. So we did. Um, we would invite them over, and we would invite them over for dinner, whether it was Thanksgiving. I don't know if we did a Christmas one, but we we would have them over. And one memory that we had was we had cats. We had cats, and we gave one of the cats was really weird. So we had two female enlisted over, and the cat just decided to go into the zoomies. Ran
Oh man.
ran over around the wall and scared the daylights out of both the girls or both the females, and it was just like hilarious.
Oh
And,
man.
and another tradition we did for Halloween is while we were in Germany, we did uh, costume parties at my house where
Awesome.
we you know we had people come over dressed in costumes, and then every year we did it. But then the last one we knew was way too big for it, so we actually rented a guest house to
Oh
have the party.
wow.
But yeah, so those were a couple of our holiday traditions.
Okay. Did you ever make it to any of the Christmas markets?
Oh yeah,
What
oh
was your
yeah.
favorite thing about the Christmas markets?
The the drink, the food, and looking at all the cool stuff that you can get.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna cut that part out. It won't be in the main
Okay,
episode, but I'm gonna save that part for Christmas. But thank you for that
all
sidetrack.
right.
Just to end do you have any other funny stories you want to share about your experience in the military? Any ones that just we haven't touched on already?
Um,
Pranks, practical jokes, things like that, inside
uh,
jokes.
there were eh, we had a fire. Well, everybody does this. We had a fire extinguisher fight in our barracks, but
Oh,
yeah,
oh wow. Where was that? Where were you
it was in Duluth.
in Duluth?
Yes.
Please tell me not in the winter.
No, 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 no.
That would have
The
been
barracks
cold.
I was in was known as Animal House, and we were always being looked at.
Oh goodness, you must have had a lot of characters in that group.
Oh, we did. Oh, we did.
So, if you could give any advice to someone who's considering joining the military or is in the military and about to get out, what advice would you give those two?
If you're in the military is a great opportunity for people. You've got the opportunity of getting education. You've got free. Well, I don't know about now with TRICARE, but you do have your medical taken care of. Um, you've got room and board. It's a good opportunity. You can get education. And I didn't have it when I was in, but the GI Bill is supposedly really good. Just, but don't do it just because of all the freebies or the benefits. If you need to have that love of country to serve in the military.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, then find yourself another job. And for people who are in, make sure that you look into, if you're ready to go out, make sure you look at veterans organizations. I'm a member of the American Legion.
Okay.
So, and you can get, well, right now we are in a war, so you could get in there. But now President Trump actually made it where you didn't have to be serving during a wartime period. I got mine through I got mine in through the Panama, and I wasn't there, but I was qualified because of Lebanon and Panama.
Yeah.
But now, as long as you served honorably, you can be a member of the Legion.
Okay.
And they are a fantastic veterans organization. We actually have a post here that isn't just a bar, but is a veterans engagement center where their job is to help other vets with whatever. So check into veterans associations, and they're out there to help you.
That's really great advice. And honestly, there are so many different organizations. There are local regionals and there's national ones. I've heard the VFW is also really awesome. So please make sure you're reaching out to those organizations. If you're in transition, they've got resources to help you manage the dealing with the VA, getting all of that paperwork handled, support, people to talk to. It's just a really great way to not feel alone when you're leaving the close-knit community of the military. So thank you. I like that. That's a really great point. Thank you so much, Raymond, for being on the show today. I really appreciate you taking the time. I'm so glad I got to hear all your stories. You've really lived through some experiences and some really fascinating points in history. So thank you for sharing those.
You're welcome.
For anybody who's listening, if you are a veteran, if you know a veteran, if you'd like to share your story, please contact me. Let me know. If you're a military spouse and you want to be part of the military spouse programs that I put together, please let me know as well. We've got the book club. We do the military spouse panel. We talk about a lot of the things we deal with as military spouses because our husbands are sacrificing, but so are we. And it's not easy being a military spouse. So,
that's true.
And then also if you are, oh wow, I just lost my train of thought. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. Check out Raymond. Raymond, in the description, send me your information for your books. I will have in the description a link to his YouTube channel, his website, so you can get his books. Please check out his books. They sound fascinating. Let's support our veteran community and do that. So
I'm putting in the link now.
Good. You do that. And then for anybody who's listening, if you have a resource for the military community, please also let me know. I want to share those resources out as well. And if you're not a member of the military community and you're just joining us because you love supporting us, thank you. Please check out Raymond's channel as well. He does fun stuff. I crashed his show. He didn't even know who I was, and I crashed his show the other week.
She probably had no idea.
I had no idea what I walked into.
I got polar bears. I got hedgehogs. I've got a manic dolphin.
I know, you're all doing like voices and characters, and I'm sitting there going, what did I walk into?
It was great. It was a great time having you there. There's my link.
Yes. Okay. And then, just thank you, everyone. So I really appreciate you guys all coming on today and just listening. Thank you so much for your support and encouragement. Thank you, Raymond. You are fabulous. And I just remember that every story matters. All of these stories are important, and to be the good that you want to see in the world. I'm your host, Sam Wolf, and you've been listening to Life of a Military Wife.
Spouses and veterans, hearts that won't quit, telling the truth about all of it. This life we live is hard and real, giving a voice to the lives that we live. Every story deserves its song.